My name is Elias Hayes. I'm 63 years old, and 3 days ago, my son Cassian handed me an envelope that was supposed to change my life. He said everything was settled. $600,000. My entire retirement, the money my late wife Freya and I saved for 30 years, finally coming back to me after 5 years of waiting. His wife, Callista, watched me open it with this smile, like she was watching a magic trick. The check inside said $600, not 600,000, $600. They thought I didn't notice. They thought my old eyes failed me. That grief over losing Freya made me weak, stupid. They were wrong. See, what my son and his wife don't know is that I didn't spend 30 years as a forensic accountant by accident. I know how to find money. I know how to follow trails. And I know exactly what people look like when they're lying to my face. So I said nothing. I folded that check, put it in my pocket, thanked them, and left. And then I started digging. What I found, it's so much worse than a missing check. There's fraud, there's betrayal, there are people I've never heard of living in houses worth millions. There's a woman named Sable, a beach house in Malibu, and offshore accounts that trace back to someone I never suspected. But here's the thing. I'm not just going to expose them. I'm going to take back everything they stole. Every single dollar. And they won't see me coming until it's far too late. This is the story of how a $600 check cost my son and his wife everything. If you want to see exactly how I made them pay, how I uncovered their lies, destroyed their schemes, and got my revenge without them even knowing I was coming, you need to subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button, smash the bell so you don't miss a single chapter, and drop a comment telling me, what would you do if your own child stole your life savings? This story gets darker, twistier, and more satisfying with every chapter. Like this video if you're ready to see justice served cold. Let's begin. It starts now. The apartment smells like instant coffee and old newspapers. It's a one-bedroom in Reseda, the kind of place I swore I'd never end up in. But that was before the hospital bills, before Freya's funeral, before I trusted my only son with everything we had. My phone buzzes. Cassian. Dad, can you come by the house today, around 2? Got something important to discuss? I stare at the message for a long time. 5 years. 5 years since I wrote that check for $600,000. Since I sat in his cramped startup office and listened to him pitch Meridian Solutions, cloud infrastructure, cutting-edge technology, ground floor opportunity. His eyes were bright with belief. Dad, this is going to change everything. I promise you'll get every penny back, plus returns. Freya squeezed my hand. We believe in you, sweetheart. 3 months later, she was diagnosed. 6 months after that, she was gone. Cassian came to the funeral, stayed for an hour, said the company was in a critical growth phase, he couldn't take time off. Callista didn't come at all. Someone has to keep things running, she'd said over text. I typed back, I'll be there. The house is in Brentwood, not the house Cassian grew up in, that modest 3-bedroom in Van Nuys where Freya planted tomatoes and I built a treehouse. This is different. Glass and steel, modern, expensive. I pull up in my 2012 Honda Civic, feeling like a stain on their circular driveway. Callista answers the door. She's wearing white, pristine, designer. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Elias, so good to see you. Come in, come in. She's never called me Dad. Not once in 8 years of marriage. The interior is showroom perfect. Minimalist furniture. Abstract art. Everything looks untouched, unlived in. Nothing like the home Freya would have made. Cassian emerges from his office, phone in hand. He's put on weight, dresses better than I ever did. Success looks good on him. Or maybe it's just money. Dad. He hugs me briefly, perfunctorily. Thanks for coming. Of course. We sit in the living room. Callista positions herself in a chair across from me, angled so she can see my face clearly. Cassian sits beside her, not beside me. So, Cassian starts, glancing at Callista. She gives him a small nod. Dad, I know it's been a long time. The company's been through a lot. Pivots, market changes, the pandemic. But we finally closed our Series A funding 8 months ago. My heart accelerates. That's wonderful, son. Yeah, it was a good round. Strong investors. He clears his throat. And, well, I wanted to make things right with you. Your initial investment. I know how long you've been waiting. He reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out an envelope. Expensive stationery. Heavy. Callista leans forward slightly. Everything's settled now, Cassian says, handing it to me. We're square. My hands shake as I take it. Not from age, from anticipation, from the hope I've been pushing down for 5 years. I open the envelope carefully. Inside is a check, Cassian's business account, made out to me. I blink, squint at the numbers. $600? $600? Not $600,000. 600. The room tilts slightly. I read it again, then again. Callista's voice cuts through the fog. Aren't you going to say thank you? I look up. She's smiling, that same smile from the doorway. But now I see what's behind it. Triumph. Contempt. She thinks I haven't noticed. She thinks I'm a senile old man who can't read numbers anymore. I look at my son. He's staring at his phone, thumbs scrolling, not meeting my eyes. Yeah, Dad, he says absently. We're square now, right? Something cold settles in my chest, something that feels like ice crystals forming in slow motion. I fold the check carefully, precisely, the way I used to fold evidence documents for court cases. Slide it into my shirt pocket. Square, I hear myself say. My voice sounds normal, steady. Thank you, son. Callista's smile falters for just a second. She was expecting something else. Confusion, questions, maybe tears. I give her nothing. I should go, I say, standing. My knees protest, but I don't let it show. Don't want to take up your afternoon. Oh, you're not, Cassian starts, but Callista interrupts. Of course, I'm sure you have things to do. She's already standing, already moving toward the door. As she walks me out, she puts her hand on my shoulder. Elias, you understand, don't you? Businesses are risky. Not every investment works out, but at least you got something back. I look at her hand. Manicured nails. Diamond ring I've never seen before. I understand perfectly, I say. I drive for 20 minutes before I pull over. My hands are gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles are white. The check is still in my pocket. I take it out, unfold it, read it again under the dome light. $600. They think I didn't notice. They're counting on it. My phone rings. Unknown number. I answer. Mr. Hayes, this is Amanda from Valley Presbyterian Hospital. I'm calling about your outstanding balance of $847 for your recent emergency room visit. We haven't received payment and... I'll call you back, I say, and hang up. $847. For the chest pains I had 3 weeks ago. The ones I thought might be a heart attack but turned out to be anxiety. I have $600 to my name now, plus another $312 in my checking account. Social Security doesn't start for another year. I look at the check again. Then I think about the house I just left. The Tesla in the driveway. Callista's outfit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. My phone has a calculator. I open it, start doing math. If Cassian closed a Series A funding round 8 months ago, and my investment was structured as a convertible note, which it was, I remember the paperwork, then it should have converted to equity. At a $7 million valuation, my $600,000 would be worth approximately 8.5% of the company. At that valuation, 8.5% equals roughly $890,000. They didn't just shortchange me. They erased me. I sit in my car in a grocery store parking lot, and I feel something I haven't felt since Freya died. Purpose. They think I'm broken, forgettable, too old and too sad to matter. But I spent 30 years tracking money for the FBI and private firms. I found hidden assets for divorce attorneys. I exposed fraud for federal prosecutors. I built cases that put people in prison. And now I'm going to build one more. I start the car and drive to the public library. They have free internet. And I have work to do. Because my son and his wife just made the biggest mistake of their lives. They assumed I wouldn't notice. The Reseda Public Library opens at 9 a.m. I'm waiting outside at 8:45. The librarian, a young woman with purple hair and kind eyes, gives me a sympathetic smile as she unlocks the door. She probably thinks I'm here to escape the heat, or loneliness, or both. She's not wrong, but today I have a different purpose. I claim a computer in the back corner. Privacy. No one looking over my shoulder. First, I open an incognito browser. Old habits. Then I navigate to the California Secretary of State website. Business Entity Search. Meridian Solutions, LLC. The filing comes up immediately. Entity number, registration date, status, active. Agent for service of process. Callista Chen. Not Callista Hayes. Chen. Her maiden name. Interesting. I dig deeper. The corporate structure shows Cassian Hayes, CEO, Managing Member, Callista Chen, CFO, Member, Registered Office, 11,940, Wilshire Boulevard, Suite 400, Los Angeles. I pull up Google Maps. The address is a WeWork, not even a real office. Next, I access LinkedIn through a burner account I created years ago. Elias Hayes doesn't exist on social media, but Edward Hastings, retired consultant, does. Cassian's profile shows Meridian Solutions raised $4.2 million in Series A funding, led by Apex Venture Partners. 8 months ago, just like he said, I navigate to the company page. 17 employees listed. I recognize 3 names, Cassian, Callista, and someone named Theron Chen. Theron Chen. I click on his profile. Senior Technology Consultant at Meridian Solutions. Passionate about fitness, wellness, and innovation. His previous job, personal trainer and wellness coach at Equinox West Hollywood. His education, Certificate in Personal Training, NASM. 0 technology experience, 0 business background, but he's pulling a salary as Senior Technology Consultant. And his last name is Chen. I screenshot everything. Then I find her, Sable Jennings, Executive Assistant to the CFO. Salary data isn't public, but I know how to estimate. Executive assistants at tech startups in LA typically make $70,000 to $95,000. I click through to Sable's profile. USC graduate. Previous role, operations specialist at a consulting firm that doesn't appear to exist anymore. But here's what catches my attention. She has exactly 2 connections on LinkedIn, Callista Chen and someone named Tamsin Kowalski. I click on Tamsin, procurement specialist, helping businesses optimize supply chain efficiency. Her profile is sparse, no company listed, no clear work history, just a generic headshot and that vague title. I sit back, processing. 3 hours in, and I've already found ghost employees and questionable connections. But I need more. I need financials. I still have access to professional databases. You don't lose credentials just because you retire. They just assume you're no longer using them. I log into Pacer, the federal court database. Search for any litigation involving Meridian Solutions. Nothing. Good. That means they haven't been sued yet. But it also means there's no public financial disclosure. So I try another angle. Series A funding rounds require filing a Form D with the SEC within 15 days. It's public record. I navigate to the SEC's EDGAR database. Search Meridian Solutions, LLC. There it is, filed 9 months ago. Form D shows total offering amount, $4,200,000. Total amount sold, $4,200,000. Type of filing, equity. I scroll down to the investor information section. This is where it gets interesting. My original investment was structured as a convertible note. I have the paperwork in a box at home. I checked it last night. Convertible notes are designed to convert to equity when a company raises its next round. At the terms we agreed to, my note should have converted at a 20% discount to the Series A price. If the Series A valued the company at $7 million post-money, my $600,000 should have converted to approximately 10.3% equity. But here's what the Form D shows. Total shares outstanding after the round include only the new investor shares and the founder shares. My shares aren't listed. They're not there at all. I feel my pulse in my temples. They didn't just reduce my stake, they eliminated it. Completely. By hour 4, I've created a spreadsheet. It's what I used to do for clients, build the narrative through numbers. Column A, Timeline. April 2020. I invest $600,000 via convertible note. November 2024. Series A closes for $4.2 million. Expected conversion. Approximately 10.3% equity equals $890,000 value. Actual payment received, $600. Column B, Red flags, Theron Chen, Callista's brother, no tech experience, senior consultant. Sable Jennings, vague background, suspicious connections. Tamsin Kowalski, procurement specialist with no clear employer. Corporate address, WeWork, no real office. CFO, registered under maiden name, not married name. I need more. I need to find their spending. I open a new browser tab and search Cassian Hayes Los Angeles property records. Nothing under his name. I try Callista Chen Los Angeles property records. There. Purchase date, February 2025. 10 months ago. Address, 847 Mandeville Canyon Road, Brentwood. Purchase price, $2.8 million. Buyer, CC Holdings, LLC. I search the LLC registration. Registered agent, Callista Chen. They bought a $2.8 million house 10 months after raising Series A funding. The house I was just in. But it's not in both their names. It's in an LLC solely controlled by Callista. I screenshot everything, add it to my spreadsheet. Then I search for more. Vehicle registrations, business filings, any trace. I find a Tesla Model S registered to Meridian Solutions, LLC. Lease payment estimated at $1,400 per month. I find corporate credit card data through a vendor database I still have access to. Quarterly spending reports that companies submit for credit lines. Meridian Solutions, Q4 2024. Travel expenses, $87,000. Consulting fees, $124,000. Office expenses, $43,000. For a 17-person startup that works out of a WeWork. My phone buzzes. Cassian. Hey Dad, hope you're doing okay. Callista and I were thinking we could take you to dinner next month. Our treat. Our treat. With my money. I stare at the message. Then I look at my spreadsheet. The house, the Tesla, the ghost employees, the erased equity. I think about Freya. How she held Cassian when he was born and cried with joy. How she believed in him even when he struggled in school, when he bounced between jobs, when he seemed lost. He'll find his way, she'd say. He just needs time. She gave him time. She gave him belief. She gave him everything. And I gave him our life savings. I text back, sounds wonderful, son. Looking forward to it. Then I go back to work. Because here's what Cassian and Callista don't understand. I'm not angry. Not yet. I'm methodical. And methodical is so much more dangerous than angry. In less than 4 hours, I found fraud, fake employees, a hidden mansion, and proof that they erased my entire investment. But I'm just getting started. Next is where I find the one person who can help me destroy them legally. And when you hear what we discover about Callista's real plan, you'll understand why this isn't just about money anymore. She's not just stealing from me. She's stealing from Cassian too, and he has no idea. You need to subscribe right now because the next chapter changes everything. Hit that like button if you want to see them pay. Comment: should I warn Cassian or let him burn? Don't miss it. I haven't spoken to Nico Stavros in 3 years. The last time was at Freya's funeral. He stood in the back, didn't approach, just nodded at me across the cemetery. Respectful distance. That's always been Nico's way. We worked together for 15 years when I was still with the firm. I handled forensic accounting. He was the attorney who turned my findings into legal weapons. We put away embezzlers, con artists, corporate fraudsters. We were good at it. Then, Nico left to start his own practice specializing in investment fraud and securities litigation. We'd get drinks once a year, talk about cases, avoid talking about anything real. I haven't called him because I wasn't ready to admit how far I'd fallen. But now I need him. I buy a burner phone from a convenience store. $40 I can't really afford, but necessary. I activate it in the parking lot and dial the number I still have memorized. 3 rings. Stavros Law. Nico. It's Elias. Silence. Then, Jesus Christ, I thought you were dead. Not yet. You sound different. I need help, and I need you to not ask questions until I'm done talking. Another pause. Longer this time. Where are you? Reseda Library. Can you meet? Give me 2 hours. There's a diner on Ventura and Woodman. You remember it? Yeah. 2 hours, Elias. He hangs up. The diner is exactly as I remember. Cracked vinyl booths, coffee that tastes like cigarettes and regret. A waitress who's worked there since the 90s. Nico slides into the booth across from me at exactly 2:15 p.m. He's aged, more gray in his beard, lines around his eyes, but he's still got that sharp look, the kind that misses nothing. You look like shit, he says. Thanks. When's the last time you ate? I shrug. He signals the waitress, orders 2 club sandwiches without asking what I want. Talk, he says once she's gone. So I do. I tell him everything. The $600,000 investment, Freya's death, 5 years of waiting, the envelope 3 days ago with the $600 check, the house in Brentwood, the Series A funding that erased my equity, Theron Chen, the personal trainer making consultant money, Sable Jennings with her 2 LinkedIn connections, the Form D filing that shows I don't exist. I slide printouts across the table, screenshots, financial records, property filings, corporate documents, everything I've compiled. Nico doesn't interrupt. He reads through each page methodically, his expression darkening. When I finish, he sits back and exhales slowly. They're not just stealing from you. This is securities fraud. If you invested under the explicit premise of equity participation, and they're documenting otherwise to new investors, that's criminal. I know. You want to file charges? No. His eyebrows raise. No. I want everything back, with interest, and I want them to know exactly who took it from them. I want them to feel what I felt when I opened that envelope. Nico studies me for a long moment. That's not the Elias I remember. You always went by the book. The book doesn't apply when it's your own son. The sandwiches arrive. We eat in silence for a few minutes. Finally, Nico wipes his mouth and leans forward. Give me 48 hours. I'll pull financials, run background checks, and see what else is buried. But Elias, you need to understand what you're starting. This could destroy your relationship with Cassian permanently. He destroyed it when he handed me that check and watched me leave. Fair enough. Nico gathers the documents. One more thing. Do you have the original convertible note agreement? At home, in a file box. Bring it to my office tomorrow. 9 a.m. And Elias? Yeah? If they're this sloppy with you, they're sloppy elsewhere. We're going to find everything. That night, I can't sleep. I lie on my second-hand mattress staring at the water stain on the ceiling, thinking about Cassian. I remember teaching him to ride a bike. He was 7, scared of falling. I've got you, I kept saying. I won't let go. But eventually, I did let go. And he rode, wobbly at first, then stronger. When did I become the one who needed catching? When did my son become someone who'd watch me fall and do nothing? My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. This is Nico's work cell. Found something already. Call me when you wake up. I don't wait until morning. I call immediately. That was fast, I say when he answers. Couldn't sleep. I hear papers shuffling. I ran preliminary backgrounds on everyone you flagged. Sable Jennings isn't just an executive assistant. What is she? She's got an LLC registered in Delaware. SJ Procurement Services. Filed 18 months ago. And guess who one of her biggest clients is? Meridian. Bingo. I pulled some invoices through business credit databases. Meridian has paid SJ Procurement Services approximately $740,000 over the last 18 months for technology consulting and procurement services. My stomach drops. That's not real. Of course it's not real. It's a shell company. Sable invoices Meridian for fake services. Callista approves the payments as CFO, and they split the money. You can prove this? With subpoena power, yes. The invoices are vague enough to be suspicious but specific enough to track. And here's the beautiful part. I found encrypted emails between Callista and Sable on Meridian's company servers. They were sloppy, thought encryption meant invisibility. What do the emails say? Things like, approved the Q3 consulting invoice, your cut is ready, and make sure the next batch looks different from the last, spread them out. It's textbook fraud. I'm silent, processing. There's more, Nico continues. That Tamsin Kowalski you flagged? I can't find much on her, which is suspicious in itself. But I did find travel records. She and Callista were in the Cayman Islands together 4 months ago. 3-day trip. Offshore accounts. That'd be my guess. And Elias? The house, the $2.8 million property in Brentwood, it's solely in Callista's LLC, not joint with Cassian. She's preparing for divorce. She's draining the company, hiding assets in her name, and when Meridian inevitably collapses, she'll walk away clean while your son holds the empty bag. I close my eyes. Does he know? I doubt it. Men like Cassian, they don't see it coming until the papers are served. My son. My stupid, trusting, complicit son. What do? I ask quietly. That depends. Do you want to save him or destroy them both? I think about the $600 check, about Callista's smile, about Cassian scrolling his phone while I held the proof of my erasure. I want my money back, all of it, and I want them to understand what they did. Then we build a case. We document everything. And when we're ready, we give them a choice. Pay you back in full, or we go to the SEC and the district attorney. How long? 2 weeks, maybe less. I'm good at this, Elias. You know I am. I do know. I've watched him work. Okay, I say. Build the case. One last question. When this is done, when you have your money back and they're facing consequences, will it be enough? I think about Freya, about the house we sold, about eating ramen because I can't afford real groceries. It'll have to be. Nico delivers the full report in 11 days. It's 147 pages. Financial records, email transcripts, flight manifests, property records, shell company registrations, bank transfers, a complete map of every dollar they stole and every lie they told to cover it. It's beautiful, devastating, irrefutable. This is enough for criminal charges, Nico says, sliding the bound document across his desk. Wire fraud, securities fraud, embezzlement. Callista's looking at federal time. Cassian, too, depending on what he knew. What about my money? Based on the convertible note terms and the Series A valuation, you're owed $890,000 in equity value. Add interest and damages, we're talking $1.1 million minimum. But here's the problem. Meridian doesn't have it. They've burned through most of the Series A funding. The company's hemorrhaging money. So what do I do? Nico leans back in his chair. You give Cassian a choice. He buys out your stake immediately for the full amount, or you file with the SEC tomorrow and destroy everything he's built. He doesn't have $1.1 million. Then he'll have to find it. Personal loans, selling the house, liquidating assets, that's his problem. The alternative is federal prosecution and bankruptcy. I stare at the report. My son's entire life reduced to evidence exhibits. There's one more thing you need to know, Nico says carefully. I found communications between Callista and a divorce attorney. She's planning to file within the next 60 days. She's going to claim the company is worthless, take the house and the offshore accounts, and leave Cassian with the debt and the lawsuits. Does he love her? What? Cassian. Does he love her, or is he just comfortable? Nico considers this. From what I can see, he's oblivious. She manages everything. The finances, the company operations, their social life. He just shows up and plays CEO. Whether that's love or dependency, I can't say. I think about Freya. How we were partners. How she'd never have let me be this blind. Set up a meeting, I say. Just Cassian and me. Tomorrow. You sure? Yeah, it's time. I text Cassian. Need to talk. Just us. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. The diner on Ventura and Woodman. He responds 20 minutes later. Everything okay? Me. We need to discuss your company. The 3 dots appear and disappear several times. Finally, okay, see you there. He arrives 17 minutes late, checking his Apple Watch as he slides into the booth. Dad, I've got a board meeting at 2, so I can't. I slide the folder across the table. What's this? Open it. He does. His face goes pale as he flips through the first few pages. Wire transfers, email transcripts, photos of the house, the one in Callista's name only, screenshots of Sable's shell company invoices. What? Where did you... Keep reading. He gets to the Cayman Islands flight records, the offshore account evidence, the divorce attorney emails. His hands start shaking. This isn't real. This is... You hired someone to spy on my wife? Your wife has stolen approximately $740,000 from your company through a fake consulting firm. She's been planning to divorce you for months. The house you live in? It's solely in her name. When she files, you'll get nothing. You don't know. I know everything, Cassian. I spent 30 years doing this exact work. Every number in that folder is verified. Every email is from your company's own servers. He's crying now. My 42-year-old son, tears running down his face in a public diner. Why are you doing this? The question hangs between us. I pull the $600 check from my wallet. I've kept it there for 12 days now. I place it on the table. You gave me this. For $600,000. You looked me in the eye and said we were square. That was a mistake. The accountant, they must have... Don't. My voice cuts like ice. Don't insult me with lies. Not after everything. He folds forward, head in his hands. I wait. Finally, he looks up. What do you want? The truth. Did you know what Callista was doing? No, I swear I didn't. But you knew about my investment. You knew what you owed me. He's silent. Answer me. Callista said, she said we couldn't afford to pay you the full amount right away, that we'd pay you back over time. The $600 was supposed to be a good faith payment, and And then you were going to ghost me. No, I was going to—" He stops, can't finish the lie. "You were going to do nothing," I say quietly. "Just like you've done nothing for 5 years. Not a call on my birthday. Not a visit after your mother died. Nothing but excuses and distance." "I'm sorry." His voice breaks. "I'm so fucking sorry, Dad. Sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught." He has no answer. I lean forward. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to fire Sable Jennings today. You're going to confront Callista with this evidence tonight, and you're going to buy out my investment at the full converted value, $890,000 plus interest and damages. That's $1.1 million total. I don't have— You'll figure it out. Sell the house, take a loan, liquidate assets. I don't care how you do it, but you have 48 hours, or I file this report with the SEC and the district attorney." "You'd do that? To your own son?" The question echoes. The same question Callista asked me with her eyes 13 days ago. "You gave me a $600 check for my life savings," I say. "The money your mother died believing would take care of me. So yeah, Cassian, I'll do that." He's sobbing now. Full, ugly sobs that make other diners turn and stare. Part of me, the part that remembers pushing him on swings, reading him bedtime stories, teaching him to shave, wants to reach across the table and comfort him. But I think of Freya's hospital room, the bills I paid with our savings, the house I sold, the $600 check. I stand up. 48 hours. After that, I make calls. I walk out, leaving him with the folder and his tears and the wreckage of his lies. My hands don't shake until I'm in the car. Then they shake so badly I have to sit in the parking lot for 20 minutes before I can drive. 36 hours later, my burner phone rings. "Dad." Cassian's voice is raw, exhausted. "We need to meet, all of us. You, me, and Callista." "No." "Dad, please." She wants to explain. She says there's been a misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding. I have bank records. "I know, but please, just give her a chance to—" "Fine," I cut him off. "Tomorrow, your office, 10 a.m., and Cassian, I'm bringing my attorney." Silence. Then, "Okay." Nico drives us in his Mercedes. The Meridian Solutions office is in Century City now. They've upgraded from the WeWork. 20th floor, glass walls, receptionist who looks like she walked out of a fashion magazine. "Mr. Hayes," she says nervously. "They're waiting in the conference room." Cassian looks like he hasn't slept in days. Callista sits beside him, perfectly composed in a cream Chanel suit. Her hair is flawless. Makeup pristine. But I see the tension in her jaw, the way her fingers grip her phone. "Mr. Hayes." She stands, extends her hand. "Thank you for coming." I don't shake it. Nico sets his briefcase on the table with a deliberate thud. "Let's skip the pleasantries. We're here to discuss repayment terms for Mr. Hayes's fraudulently converted investment." Callista's smile doesn't waver. "I think there's been a misunderstanding about the nature of—" "Stop." I place a small recording device on the table. "Everything you say right now is being recorded. Nico is a witness and an officer of the court. If you lie, it becomes evidence. Choose your words carefully." The smile cracks, just slightly. Cassian speaks instead, his voice shaking. "Dad, Callista and I talked. We've reviewed the finances. We acknowledge there were irregularities in how your investment was handled. We're prepared to offer you $200,000 as a settlement. That's full repayment of your initial investment, minus $1.1 million, I say. That's not a negotiation. That's the deal. We don't have $1.1 million. Callista's composure shatters. Her voice rises, sharp and desperate. The company can't sustain that kind of payout. You destroy everything Cassian has built. We built, I correct quietly, with my money, the money you stole. You made a risky investment. Sometimes investments fail. You're an old man who doesn't understand how startups work. I'm a forensic accountant who spent 30 years putting people like you in prison." The room goes silent. Callista's face flushes red. "This is extortion. You're trying to—" "Callista," I say, my voice calm, measured, "does your husband know about Tamsin?" She freezes, completely still. Cassian's head snaps toward her. "Who's Tamsin?" "Nobody," Callista says quickly. "He's making things up to—" "Tamsin Kowalski," I continue, sliding another folder across the table. "Your law school roommate. The procurement specialist you flew to the Caymans with 4 months ago. The one helping you set up offshore accounts to hide the money you've been embezzling." Cassian opens the folder. Bank records, flight manifests, photos of Callista and a blonde woman on a beach, cocktails in hand, smiling. "How much?" Cassian's voice is barely a whisper. $1.2 million, Nico answers, hidden in 3 separate accounts, all in Callista's name only. Cassian stares at his wife like she's a stranger. "You were leaving me." "Cassian, I can explain. You were going to take everything and leave me with nothing." Callista stands abruptly. "This is insane. I'm calling our attorney. This is harassment. It's—" "The police," Nico interjects smoothly. "Please do. I'm sure they'd be very interested in the wire fraud, the securities violations, the—" "Enough!" Cassian slams his hand on the table. I've never heard him yell like that. Never seen that look in his eyes. He turns to Callista. "Get out." "Cassian, you don't understand. Get out." She grabs her purse, her face twisted with rage. As she passes me, she leans down and hisses, "You'll regret this, old man." I meet her eyes. "No, I really won't." She storms out. The door slams. Cassian sits heavily, head in his hands. She was going to destroy me. "Yes," I say simply. "Everything I built, it was all a lie." "Not all of it. The company has good technology, but the people running it were rotten." He looks up at me, eyes red. "What do I do now?" This is the moment. The choice Nico asked me about weeks ago. Revenge or redemption? I think of Freya. What would she want? "You dissolve the shell companies," I say. "You fire Sable and anyone else involved. You file for divorce, and you give me 40% equity in Meridian." "What?" "40%. When you sell the company, and you will sell it properly this time, I get my share. Until then, you pay me $2,000 a month. Every month, no excuses." "That'll take years." "Yes, it will. And every payment you'll remember what you did to me, what you did to your mother's memory. And maybe you'll become the man she believed you could be." Cassian is crying again, but this time it's different. Not self-pity, something else. "I don't deserve this. I don't deserve your mercy." "No," I agree. "You don't. But I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it because your mother loved you. And somewhere under all this shit, I still do too." Nico slides the equity transfer documents across the table. "Sign here and here. Initial every page." Cassian signs with shaking hands. 3 months later. The divorce is vicious. Callista fights every inch, but Nico's team has her cornered. Cooperate and walk away with something, or face criminal charges for wire fraud and embezzlement. She chooses survival. Barely. The offshore accounts are frozen, assets recovered. Sable Jennings takes a plea deal and cooperates with prosecutors. 18 months in minimum security. Tamsin vanishes, probably to avoid becoming a witness. Theron Chen quietly resigns and goes back to personal training. No charges filed. He was just a pawn. Meridian Solutions is acquired by a larger tech firm for $6.8 million. My 40% equity converts to $2.72 million. After taxes and legal fees, I net $1.9 million. More than I lost. Far more than that $600 check. Cassian comes to my apartment on a Saturday morning. He's lost weight, looks older. There are gray hairs I've never noticed before. "The sale closes Tuesday," he says quietly. Your payment will be wired by end of business. Good. He looks around my small apartment, the second-hand furniture, the water-stained ceiling, the life I've been living while he drove a Tesla. Why did you sell the house, the one I grew up in? Couldn't afford property taxes after I invested in your company. After your mother died, it felt too big anyway. His face crumbles. Dad, It's done, Cassian. Will you ever forgive me? I think about that. Really think about it. I don't know, I say honestly. Your mother would have forgiven you already. She was better than me that way. She was better than both of us, he whispers. We sit in silence. The old clock on my wall ticks steadily. I got a job offer, he says finally. Product manager at a cybersecurity firm in Boston. Good salary, honest work. Take it. It's far from you. I know. He nods slowly, processing. The monthly payments, the $2,000. I'll keep making them even after the equity payout. I want to. Why? Because you were right. I need to remember. I look at my son, really look at him, and see glimpses of the boy he was, the one who brought me dandelions, who cried when his goldfish died. That boy is still in there, buried under mistakes and shame. Maybe he can dig himself out. Boston's nice in the fall, I say. He almost smiles. Yeah, it is. Epilogue. The check arrives Tuesday, $1.9 million. I stare at it for a long time. Then I do something unexpected. I wire $400,000 to the women's shelter where Freya volunteered. She'd want that. The rest goes into conservative investments. Safe, stable. I upgrade to a 2-bedroom apartment. One for me, one for guests, just in case. Cassian sends the first $2,000 payment on the 1st of the month. Every month after it arrives like clockwork, sometimes with a message. Thinking of you. C. Started therapy. C. It snowed today. Mom would have loved it. C. I don't always respond, but I read every one. 6 months later, my phone rings. Cassian. Dad, I know this is random, but could I fly out next month, just for a weekend? I feel something unfamiliar. Hope, maybe. Yeah, I say. Yeah, you can. Thanks. And Dad? Yeah? I love you. I should have said it more. My throat tightens. I love you too, son. After we hang up, I sit in the fading light and think about betrayal, about money, about family. I think about Freya, who always believed people could change. Maybe she was right. Maybe revenge doesn't always look like destruction. Maybe sometimes it looks like teaching someone the cost of their choices, and then giving them a chance to pay it back. And that is how a $600 check cost them everything, but gave me back more than money. It gave me my dignity. My son learned the hardest lesson of his life. Callista got exactly what she deserved. And I got something money can't buy. Peace. But here's my question for you. Was I too soft on Cassian? Should I have destroyed him completely? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to hear what you would have done. If this story had you gripped from that $600 check to the $1.9 million finale, you need to subscribe, because I've got more stories of betrayal, revenge, and redemption coming your way. Smash that like button, hit the bell for notifications, and share this with someone who needs to know that even when family betrays you, you can still win with dignity. Thank you for being here. More stories coming soon. Don't miss them.